Directly, Dr. Abbas Zaidi, directly come to your talk, please.
Okay, sir. Respected chairpersons of this session, other distinguished guests from across the country and abroad, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. So, the topic which I am going to present before you is the concept of nose-to-brain drug delivery in Unani system of medicine. As you all know that there is an increasing trend in the development of the novel drug delivery system, and nose-to-brain drug delivery system is such one novel drug delivery system which got wider attention in late 80s. But in Unani system of medicine, this concept was existed in like 1,000 years before. And the famous Unani physicians, they have used certain kinds of medications for nose-to-brain drug delivery for treating certain CNS disorders. Next, please. Can I have the point? So, as a because of the time scarcity, I'm just going fast. So, as you all know that conventionally the nasal route of delivery has been used for delivery of drugs for treatment of local diseases, that is the nose disorders. But recently years have shown that the nasal route can be exploited for systemic delivery of drugs such as small molecular weight, polar drugs, peptides and proteins that are not easily administered via other route than by injection or where a rapid onset of action is required. So, nasal drug delivery system have a significant role in Unani system of medicine, and as I've told you that ancient Unani physicians, they have utilized it for central nervous system related disorders. These are not me or paths. So, how does this nose-to-brain drug delivery system works? Most of the drugs which are administered intranasally, first they either go to the transcellular route like the lipophilic drugs, or they go through the paracellular route, the hydrophilic drugs, and thirdly the drug can be transported through the olfactory neurons or the trigeminal neurons. The locally administered drug, the intranasally administered drug, it is reaches to the brain through these olfactory axons, olfactory nerve axons or the trigeminal nerve axons. Here you can see the upper two branches of the trigeminal nerve is thought to take part in this, the ophthalmic branch and the maxillary branch, not this mandibular branch. So, there are some advantages and disadvantages of this novel drug delivery system. Advantages are it has better patient compliance, avoidance of hepatic first pass elimination and the destruction in the GI tract. It bypasses the blood-brain barrier. Because as you all know that blood-brain barrier is the major hurdle which imposes a big problem for this therapeutic targeting of the brain. Then extensive rich vascular blood supply. There are some disadvantages, methods and techniques of administration, particularly the traditional ones. Because of the mucociliary clearance mechanism in the nasal cavity, some drugs gets cleared. Existence of any pathological conditions which may affect the nasal functions. These are the factors which are affecting the nasal drug absorption. I'm not going into the details because the time is very short. These are some nasal absorption enhancers. They are being used in the pharmaceutical industry, but I'm not sure whether they can be used in for pharmacopoeial Unani medicines also. So these are some of the traditional, or you can say, dosage forms which are being mentioned in the Unani classical literature. These are atus, bakhur, lakhlakha, nafuq, nashuk, saud, qatur and shamum. So I'm not going into the details because time is not permitting me. So this is atus induces sneezing. Some certain medications are used for this. Bakhur, that is fumigation, and then there is steam inhalation, ghalia and lakhlakha. Nafuq, nashuk, saud and shamum, that is today called as aromatherapy. So where you can see here in this figure, these odor molecules, they are deposited in the olfactory epithelium, and from there the electrical signals, they further move deep inside the brain, particularly the limbic system. These are some characteristics of the nasal dosage form which are being mentioned by the Unani physicians, which form they are. These are some list of nasal medications which are being used in Unani system of medicine. Yes. So there are certain medications or formulas, they are being used through different dosage forms for headache, epilepsy, apoplexy, paralysis, facial palsy. So they all were delivered intranasally. This was South. So of those mentioned drugs, one such drug has been passed through this randomized controlled trial, that is Bukhur-e-Maryam, cyclamen europeum. And Abu Bakr Zakaria Razi has mentioned this drug in many places in his book Al-Hawi Fitti in the first volume. So I have just mentioned this paper here. This is another study, case report, efficacy of nausea, nasal medication in coma. This is basically performed in CCRS by some Ayurveda person. They put some intranasal medications in coma patient. And as per the author's claim, the Glasgow coma scale was improved from, this score improved from 3 to 11 after 15 days of therapy. But since this is a case report, so we cannot generalize the results of this case report to all the population. So larger randomized control studies will be needed to further validate this claim. So there are some safety considerations in this route. Because of many CNS disorders where nose to brain delivery is attractive or chronic disorders that may require lifelong treatment. The nasal mucosa is designed to trap and handle foreign particles, but it is also an important sensory organ. Long-term or frequent exposure to nasal drugs may have potential to cause irritation and local toxicity. Strict aseptic conditions are also required. This is another 3 case reports of one such drug is being mentioned in Unani classical literature, that is Qasaul Hemar, squirting cucumber. And Razi has mentioned that this drug should be diluted in milk before their application. And you can see here 3 cases of case reports where it caused this septal perforation. It was used undiluted. So finally, it may be concluded that nose to brain transport is a promising emerging field. Though it was employed by the ancient Unani physicians since time immemorial, it may provide a breakthrough for the significant difficulties in getting innovative brain therapies into the CNS where they can achieve the desired activity. In the near future, we may expect to see a range of novel Unani nasal products reaching the market. Improved dosage forms and improved devices for delivering these intranasal medications is also required. Delivery through carrier system will also be taken care. Generation of safety and efficacy data will be highly required because when we are bypassing the blood-brain barrier, so it may pose certain toxicity issues. So we have to generate the safety and toxicity data. Possible quantification of administered drug in brain and CSF, this is a very challenging task as well as far as the herbal medicines are concerned because of their multi-component mixture of the herbal medicines. But we can take some marker compound and we can assess that particular marker in the brain. Development of standard operative procedure will also be required. Pharmacovigilance is highly needed for taking this therapy. So in my opinion, progress in nasal delivery device performance alone or in combination with nasal formulation strategies represent key opportunities for future success in developing treatments for different brain disorders. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Within the time, since we are running short of time, we have come into the presentations of this session. Since we have very short of time, I request for a minute Professor Jaffe to comment.
Paucity of time. That's why, to be on safer side, I would like to hand over the mic to Professor Shakir Jamil.
Shakir Jamil sir, again 1 minute.
Thank you. I have noted so many comments, but keeping in view the constraint of time, I can say only that I am thankful to the organizers to provide me this opportunity. And very good presentation, nice presentations have been made in this session. We will discuss these things on the tea, as traditionally we say. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Professor Jafri Sahab and Professor Shankar Jamil Sahab. Now we come to end of this session and hope these are very informative talks. Those who are interested over here, they have enough time during the tea session to discuss with the individual speakers. Thank you very much. We declare the end of this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. And may I now request Professor Y.K. Gupta to kindly do the honors of presenting a token of gratitude to Dr. Maqbool Ahmed Khan. I request Professor Gupta to also present to Ms. Amina Al-Hadan. Thank you, Professor Gupta, for doing the honors. May I now request Professor S. Shakir Jamil to kindly do the honors of presenting it to Dr. Sarfaraz Ahmed. Professor Shakir to present to Dr. Sarfaraz Ahmed. And Professor Shakir to also present to Dr. Hasib Alam. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for doing the honors. Thank you, Professor Shakir, for doing the honors. May I now request Professor M.A. Jaffrey to present to Dr. Claudia Prekel. Thank you. To Dr. Ravi. To Dr. Deepika Gunawat. To Professor Muhammad Anwar. And to Dr. Abbas Zaidi. Thank you very much indeed, sir. May I now request Professor Asim Ali Khan, DG CCRUM, to kindly do the honors of presenting a token of gratitude to our distinguished chairs, Padma Shri Dr. M.A. Waheed. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for chairing this session, taking the responsibility, and we are indeed honored to have you here with us today. Thank you, Padma Shri Dr. M.A. Waheed. To Professor Y.K. Gupta. To Professor S. Shakir Jamil. and to Professor M.A. Jaffrey. And ladies and gentlemen, let's once again put our hands together for that very informative and noteworthy session with all wonderful presentations that we had from all our eminent speakers. And may we have a group photograph, sir? Professor Khan to kindly join for the group photograph of the panel. May I request Dr. Abbas Zaidi to kindly join us for the group photograph, sir? And ladies and gentlemen, I would request everybody to kindly remain seated as we are straight away moving on to the valedictory session. Our honorable chief guest is here. Kindly give us a few moments while we arrange the top table for the valedictory session. Thank you.